Getting a new animal is always an exciting time. There is no better feeling than heading over to your local pet shop, reptile expo, heading on to the online places and getting an animal shipped to you, unboxing it, having a little dude of your very own. But there are definitely some mistakes that I see time and time again when people get new reptiles. Definitely some things that just need to stop doing it if you want the thrivability of your animal. Thrivability? Exactly are those things? Well, it's everything we'll be talking about in today's video. Stick around while we talk about some things you just gotta stop doing when you get a new reptile. Let's get into it. Kicking it off with number one, let's get into it. Number one, stop taking the pet out immediately when you just got it. A reptile settling into a new home can be a very stressful time. You gotta think of it through the reptile's perspective. It's POV, if you will. That is gonna be the fact that it was in one place, it was then put into a deli cup, that was put into a dark box, that was then shipped across the world to a couple states away, depending on how far or where you were in that place. Bottom line, it had a huge journey going from one place to another, and that is a very stressful thing. I mean, you think even when I go on vacation I get stressed out, and I couldn't imagine if I had to just move homes all of a sudden. With the fact that we are giant gods to those people, I mean, some of these little baby cresteds are this big and we're, well, this big, hat included, and it can be a very scary time for the animal. You want to give that animal a relaxation period, an acclimation period to settle in its new home before continuously trying to get it out and play with it. Oh, I know, it's a very exciting time. You just got your dream reptile, you got your Leechy, your Cresty, whatever you have and you really just want to interact with it, play with it, make sure it's a tame dude, have a cool little pet. Trust me, take that acclimation time for the animal to let it settle into its new home. Talk about the acclimation period, you know, how long to leave it alone. I always recommend around 2 weeks to let the animal settle. That's going to be enough time to let it explore its new surroundings, find some places it likes to hide, some places it likes to explore, get it accustomed to what's going on, the daily routine that you're doing in your reptile room or the husbandry care that you are giving that reptile, and so on. Just a couple of weeks. I know. It feels like an eternity, but just give the thing a couple of weeks to chill out, let it get used to its new home, and then you can start interacting with it. Moving on to the second topic, we're actually going to build on this a little bit more. It's going to continue on with the leave it alone section, and that is going to be number 2, don't worry if it's not eating in the first couple of days. You got your new reptile. A lot of emotions are going on. Excitement. What emotion is going on? You're happy, you're excited, you're nervous, you want to make sure you are giving your animal the best home it can possibly have, and now you got this dude for 1 day, 2 days, a few days, anywhere such, and you've noticed, oh man, the crickets are still in there, it's not eating the roaches, oh, it's not eating the crested gecko food out of the dish. I am worried, man, what is going on? Why is it not eating? I need to do something immediately. Well, the best thing you can do in this situation is, going back to number 1, leave it alone. As we mentioned in the previous section, and it is a very stressful time moving one reptile from one area to another, shipping that animal out, even moving it from how they do things at the pet store, the cycles that are going on in the pet store, you know, your day and night time, when it gets misted, when it gets fed, all of that stuff is changing over the course of literally a single day. During this stressful time, this animal is not going to want to eat right away. It wants to get used to its home. It wants to get used to its surroundings, how everything's going on, how things are being done, and it is very common and not unexpected whatsoever for your animal to go off food for a little bit during this acclimation period. I see it way too often. This animal doesn't eat for like 48 hours and all of a sudden these guys are doing, oh, I gotta assist feed, I gotta do this, I gotta hand feed, I gotta take it out to feed it in here, I gotta force feed it ReptiBoost, it needs to go to the vet because it hasn't eaten for 2 days. Partner, calm down, it's gonna be okay. The only thing you're doing in this situation is stressing the animal further, making it less likely to be eating on its own. Give it a second, trust me, it's gonna be fine. Majority of the time, the animal does not need to go to a vet. Of course, that is not all the time. Sometimes you do get a sick animal in that does need to be seen the vet, but that is really the minority of the cases. Most of the time, just leave them alone and they'll get accustomed to it. Now, obviously, it's gonna be tough to say on like how long is too long because there's so many different species. I mean, for something like a boa, Burmese retic, that's definitely a much different timeline than something like a tiny day gecko or a null. However, if it's anything, and I mean if it is any less than like a week, stop worrying. The animal is going to be completely fine unless you're noticing within that week it is losing significant weight, immense weight loss, which it's not going to happen if the animal's actually not sick. It's not going to lose any weight, it's going to be totally fine. Give it a second to get accustomed to it, leave it alone. Trust me, You're gonna be okay. And, well, so is the animal. But on to the next topic. Let's get into one that is a common mistake that definitely I can see has good intentions. However, it might not be best for the animal depending on how it's done. And that's gonna be number 3, putting an animal in way too big of a setup from the very jump. Of course, there are gonna be some constituents around this topic, right? This isn't gonna be more of a blanket statement, but there are specific ways that it could work out. Mostly when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about when you get a fresh baby gecko, just old enough to sol, a couple of months old, you know, a few grams old. I mostly do geckos, so I mostly think about geckos. And you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna put that animal straight over into the 18 by 18 by 24, the 2 by 2. You're gonna put an animal this big inside an enclosure that big. It is a recipe for disaster. These animals are stressed. This is an animal that has moved from one home to the next, and now it has this giant place, which more times than not, this is that constituent. I was talking about a little bit earlier. No, majority of the time, they are not set up correctly. Now, if you are tightly packing this 2 by 2 enclosure, making sure the animal has multiple hides, multiple places to feel secure, and it's not a vast empty enclosure where it feels like it is susceptible to predators, things of that nature, instinctively being stressed out because, well, like most of us, we don't want to die. Sitting over here with the hundreds upon hundreds of animals that we have produced over the years, I have found making sure an animal has a nice home where it's going to feel safe and secure is the most important for that acclimation process. Temporary setups like 8 by 8 by 12s and shoebox bins when we're talking about baby geckos are going to be perfect for it to get through that acclimation period to grow up to then be able to be put in these giant, more intricate enclosures. There's 2 things I have found that go hand in hand with each other. It is going to be, why is my gecko not eating? I put it in a giant enclosure. It's a match made in heaven if you're having problems with that. What I would recommend over here, pump the brakes a little bit, make sure it has a nice enclosure to grow into, and then putting it into that final, really cool, nice big setup once it is accustomed to its way of life, its new surroundings, and its forever home. Wrapping this bad boy up, let's get into the last topic that we are going to be talking about today, and that is going to be number 4, being prepared for the animal that you are taking on. This happens just a little bit way too often. Impulse buying. Now, I'm not here to say I'm not guilty of it myself. We've all taken on something when we ain't got the grand plan set in mind, but at least have concepts of a plan that when you're getting the animal. Don't be getting your little leopard gecko, bearded dragon, things like that, and then going out to the PetSmart to get the bearded dragon kit or whatever have you. Put some research into the species that you are getting and have a game plan in mind. I see this way too often. Now, it's a little bit easy, I would say far easier to get away with this with things like the New Caledonian geckos, your day geckos, hell, even tokays. They don't take up too much stuff, but when I see people getting like Nile monitors, Savannah monitors, you know, the shit you can find at those reptile shows for about 20-40 bucks. They're throwing those bad boys in a 40-gallon cage and they're like, oh, don't worry, I'm gonna build it a new one pretty soon. Are you though, man? Do you even know how to build a cage? Are you? I'm not here to tell you guys that you need to have everything set up from its baby enclosure to its medium enclosure to its adult final enclosure, have all the bells and whistles set up and ready to go before you get the animal into your possessions. But what I am saying is you should have the proper research done, especially if that research points to the direction that the kits that they sell at the pet stores are never a good idea. At least have a basic concept in mind of how the enclosure is going to go, where is it going to go, and have a rough baseline, making sure that the animal isn't in an adequate enclosure for a prolonged period of time at the end of the day. Got it, boys and girls. Don't do these things when you first get an animal, and you will be a-okay with the animal that you just got. Guys want to check out some more videos by your boy over here, I highly recommend this playlist going on right here, or check out this crazy video. I'm not sure what I'm gonna put there, but I bet it's gonna be good. As always, thank you so much for taking the time of your day to follow us over here at Dakota Blue Exotics. I will see you guys next time, but until then, goodbye.